What up, YouTube? Here with a prediction video for Tuesday's Super Bantamweight Unified title bout. Stephen Fulton will be putting his WBC and WBO Super Bantamweight titles on the line versus the current, arguably the pound-for-pound king of the sport, Naoya Inoue, the former undisputed Bantamweight champion, the undefeated knockout artist out of Japan. And Naoya Inoue is moving up to Super Bantamweight. He vacated his undisputed Bantamweight titles to move up to challenge the best at Super Bantamweight in his debut fight at Super Bantamweight. I gotta give a shout out, a credit, my hats off to Naoya Inoue for taking on the best fighter, the unified Super Bantamweight champion, Stephen Fulton, for his first fight at Super Bantamweight. That is a very ballsy move on the part of Naoya Inoue. Anyways, this fight will be hosted in Japan. That's why if you want to watch this fight, you're going to have to watch it early if you want to watch it live, because as I said, this fight's going to be in Japan. It's not going to be in the Western Hemisphere. That's why this fight is going to be live at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 a.m. Pacific Time. However, I think ESPN did say that they will be playing this fight all day long on their ESPN Plus app. And if y'all want to watch the fight later, y'all could probably watch the fight if y'all don't have the app on the internet somewhere. Anyways, let's get to previewing this fight with Naoya Inoue, the challenger, and the champion, Stephen Fulton. Stephen Fulton, he had what was considered to be one of the best fights of the year 2022 with him and Figueroa. That was for the WBO WBC unification Super Bantamweight title bout, and that was a very close competitive bout with Stephen Fulton and Figueroa. And I wouldn't have mind seeing another fight with Stephen Fulton and Figueroa because of how thrilling and how close and competitive that fight was. However, Figueroa moved up to featherweight, and he was a big super bantamweight. That's why it was more easier for him to move up to featherweight. And Naoya Inoue, as I said, he is a former undisputed bantamweight champion. He vacated all his titles at bantamweight to move up to super bantamweight to challenge Stephen Fulton for the unified super bantamweight titles in his debut fight. The only fighters I say Naoya Inoue hasn't fought at bantamweight that I would have liked to see him go against is Casemiro, the former WBO bantamweight champion who never lost his WBO bantamweight title. Unfortunately, he had to vacate his WBO bantamweight title. Hence why Paul Butler, who Naoya Inoue fought last to become the undisputed bantamweight champion, became the WBO bantamweight champion in the first place because of Casemiro having to vacate that title. And I think that was the only fight that was left for Naoya Inoue to fight. And I would say Guillermo Rigondeaux, because of the style contrast that wouldn't have made for such a thrilling fight because of Rigondeaux's, I don't want to say boring because it's kind of disrespectful to the art form of boxing, because Rigondeaux has got one of the most effective styles when it comes to boxing. I say it would have been a difficult fight for Naoya Inoue's style to get in there with Guillermo Rigondeaux, somebody as highly technically skilled as Guillermo Rigondeaux. It would have been a very great challenge for Naoya Inoue to defend his undisputed bantamweight titles versus somebody of that caliber. Anyways, those are the only two fights I thought was remaining for Naoya Inoue to prove himself as the legitimate undisputed titleist at bantamweight. And he decided to move up to the more marketable weight class, that being the super bantamweight division. And in his first fight, he's fighting the most thrilling fight that he could fight, the most challenging, the most difficult fight that he could fight in his debut at super bantamweight. The weight adjustment shouldn't be a problem for Naoya Inoue because it's not that much of a leap from 118 to 122, and Stephen Fulton isn't the biggest super bantamweight out there. And Naoya Inoue, as I said, this is only a 4-pound leap for Naoya Inoue. He should still carry and possess the same power that he has in his hands at super bantamweight as he did at bantamweight, especially versus somebody of the stature of a Stephen Fulton. And how Naoya Inoue would like to approach this fight is to work off of volume and pressure and aggression, and he wants to catch and trap Stephen Fulton at certain spots in the ring, and he wants to back Stephen Fulton up, and he wants to catch Stephen Fulton and have Stephen Fulton be off his rhythm. That way Naoya Inoue could be successful with his attack and launch his onslaught and have Stephen Fulton feel Naoya Inoue's power. And Stephen Fulton, he's going to want to have Naoya Inoue overcommit, and he's going to want to neutralize the pressure and the volume and the work rate of Naoya Inoue, and he's going to want to time and catch Naoya Inoue's rhythm, and he's going to want to counter Naoya Inoue's attacks, and he's going to have to be accurate, and he wants the fight to be fought not with his back against the ropes. He wants the fight to be fought in the center of the ring, and he's going to have to be mobile in this fight. He's going to have to be moving around a lot in this fight, and Stephen Fulton, he's going to want to avoid as many shots as possible from Naoya Inoue in this fight. And this fight is being hosted in Japan, and that is a disadvantage for Stephen Fulton. It is a disadvantage for any foreign fighter who is not Japanese to fight in Japan because they're known for their controversial officiating when it comes to judging. Regardless of the fact that they might have international judges scoring this fight, they've had bad officiating when it comes to scorecards and favoritism to hometown fighters when fights are being hosted in Japan. That's why Stephen Fulton is not going to want this fight to go to distance. However, it's going to be very difficult for Stephen Fulton to score a stoppage versus somebody as durable and as somebody as chinny as Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue, he proved versus a very powerful puncher, a aggressive fighter who can brawl. Go check out the fight with him and Nonito Donaire in the finals of the Bantamweight tournament of the World Boxing Super Series. Their first fight with Naoya Inoue and Nonito Donaire, what was considered to be the best fight of that year, Naoya Inoue suffered a broken orbital bone and a broken nose, and he was able to go all 12 rounds with Nonito Donaire and slug it out for the whole all 12 rounds. They went to war for all 12 rounds in their first fight. And then in the second fight, Naoya Inoue cleared all answers and all controversy of the first close competitive fight that he had with Nonito Donaire by knocking him out in the early rounds in their rematch. And Stephen Fulton, he is a highly technical, skilled boxer more than he is a brawler. He can neutralize that style of that aggressive, come forward, pressure, volume fight of a style. You could go check out the fight with him and Figueroa. Figueroa is that come forward, aggressive, volume puncher fighter. He has that style, and Stephen Fulton with his fundamentals and his technical skills was able to neutralize that style, hence why those two contrasting styles was able to produce the fight that it produced last year when they fought. And I think much of it is going to play out in this fight as well. And you saw how Stephen Fulton can engage in that brawling type of style of a fight because he is durable, he's got stamina, and he can work off of volume as well. And he can make it look very entertaining and thrilling with the work rate that he produces and with the ability of him being able to put his punches together. He puts very good combinations together. He is a combination puncher, and he does a good job at countering as well. And that's why we saw the fight that we saw in his last fight with him and Figueroa, and I expect much of the same in this fight with him and Naoya Inoue. And Naoya Inoue, like many Asian fighters, he comes more forward than he does fighting off his back foot or moving laterally. And that's what Stephen Fulton will want to do in this fight. He wants to have Naoya Inoue back off and have him fighting off his back foot and be on the move as well, and have him move just as much as he has to do in this fight. And Naoya Inoue, he's going to want to avoid fighting off his back foot or moving any other way other than moving forward in this fight. And Stephen Fulton, he's going to have Naoya Inoue respect his punching power for Naoya Inoue to back off of him and to move any other direction other than forward. Anyways, my final prediction for this fight, I see Naoya Inoue winning this fight via unanimous decision. I could see it playing out to the later round stoppages if Naoya Inoue wears out Stephen Fulton with his power, and his power starts to stagger and wear and accumulate on Stephen Fulton. He's going to have to find his target first. I think Naoya Inoue is going to struggle in the beginning rounds to the early mid rounds. And then later on, I think he's going to find his target, and he's going to do a good job at finding Stephen Fulton's flaws, and he's going to find his mark with his punches, and he's going to figure out Stephen Fulton's rhythm and his movement, and he's going to neutralize it with his aggression and his volume and his work rate and definitely his power. And as I said, if Stephen Fulton is durable enough, he should survive the later rounds. And as I said, if this fight goes the distance, it's most likely going to favor Naoya Inoue because of this fight being in Japan. And that's why Stephen Fulton is going to have this fight be as one-sided as possible. I do not see Stephen Fulton getting a stoppage win. If a stoppage does happen, I think it will be on the part of Naoya Inoue. And as I said, if a stoppage or a knockout TKO does happen, it would be happening for Naoya Inoue in the later rounds. I'd say somewhere in the championship round, somewhere between 9 and the 12th and final round. However, I am predicting this fight to go the distance, and I think it should be a close competitive bout, and I'm picking Naoya Inoue to win via unanimous decision. The scorecards, if it's not controversial, should be somewhere around 115 to 113, 116 to 112 in favor of Naoya Inoue. And that's my final predictions. Y'all let me know how y'all see this fight playing out. If y'all got a prediction video out there, I'll be more than glad to check it out. And that does it for this video. That's my preview of this up-and-coming mega fight. It's one of the best fights scheduled for this year in the sport of boxing. It's been a great year for the sport of boxing. They're producing the best possible matches that they can make happen in the sport of boxing, and this is definitely one of them. Looking forward to it. Should be a good fight. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. And that does it for this video. I'm out of here, y'all, and peace.